if you want to get notification when we drop a new video. We do 2 a week. Sometimes we do 3, but most of the time we do 2 videos a week. Again, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. And then of course we have a YouTube channel where we post all of our training videos there. And you can take a look at those always at no cost to you as well. So click these logos on the bottom of any of my emails and it will take you directly there as well. So if you don't know how to find people on these different things, just my emails always have the logos, and if you click them, if you have an account with any of these, it'll take you directly to my account when you do that. So again, you can also visit the website trainingbydunbar.com and get a free consultation there. You can also take a look at videos there and just kind of give you a better idea of what we're doing with Training by Dunbar. And if you also want consultation on health advice, things of that matter, you can do that as well right on the Training by Dunbar website. We constantly update the website. We normally update it probably about once a week. We do updates on it. So the next few weeks are going to be on the growth mindset. So we're going back into the mindset deal. And I think it's really good, especially with it being the beginning of the month, November 4th today. So to getting your mind changed, because even when I'm coaching my clients, the very first thing we go over in our modules are always mindset, because changing your mindset first is always what you want to do to move forward. You want to get your mindset changed first. Don't worry about me altering stuff, guys. I'm in a new place and I'm in my new house. I'm still trying to figure out how to make all of this stuff work in this new place. So the growth mindset is, you'll see here in the next few slides, I have it set up for ebook. I also have it set up where you can buy in video and audio together. And there's other things that come along with it. There's a mind map that comes along with it if you get this information. There's also your, what you call them, a resource guide not a resource guide, I'm sorry, a guide on the 5 ways to develop your mindset for success. So it's about a 30-page guide on that, and you also will receive that as well with the growth mindset. And it doesn't matter whether you take a look at the ebook or the video or audio, they're going to both come with it. Now, everything that comes with the ebook comes with the video and audio. The only difference is if you get the video and audio, you won't get the ebook, if that makes any sense. So all the other materials, the other downloads and stuff are all there, except for the actual ebook when you get the audio video. So you'll get 10 audios, 10 videos, and then all the other material. If you get the ebook, you're gonna get the ebook and all the materials, if that makes sense. So I would suggest getting one or the other, not both of them. Obviously, you probably don't need both. So that's why I have them both here, so that you can get whichever one that you choose that you want to get. And again, you don't have to get any. You can just follow us every Wednesday on the training and get the information that way. That's totally fine. I just know some people like to have the material to keep and to have in their file so they can go back and look at it later on, or however they want to do that. So always feel free with my trainings on Wednesday that you don't have to buy into the material. I have it there because people have requested in the past, like, to set that stuff up. And my coach obviously has me doing these things because it helps the people follow and understand and take better notes. And it helps you develop better when you've got a book or a coursework to go along with what you're learning on a Wednesday night. So that's pretty much why we do it that way. So you'll see here, and then of course you guys know it's always discounted too. So it's $19.98, but there's a 50% discount code for 50% off. So you're basically paying $9.99. The ebook is about 80 pages long. So it's a pretty big ebook at 80 pages, and the discount code is New Mindset there, and then that's the link for the book. The link is also in the chat as well, so you can click on it in the chat. Just make sure you're using that New Mindset discount code so that it goes down to $9.99. If it doesn't go down to $9.99, you didn't use that code, so don't buy it at $19.98. If you can't figure out how to do it, just call me and let me know, and then I'll let you know how to do it so that you don't pay the $19.98. The $19.98, I have it up there for that amount because That's what I charge, generally speaking. But people that follow my trainings, people that I coach, they get different prices from me. So that's why I put the discount stuff on different platforms as opposed to just giving it to people. So that makes sense. We also have this is the audio course. So, you know, for those that believe in Drive Time University, again, you can listen to it on audio, or you can watch the videos on video. And when you get that, you get both. You get audio and video. So when you go to get it, you'll see downloads. They'll say audio. It'll be 10 audio downloads. It'll be 10 video downloads, and then all the other handouts as well, like the mind map, the 5 ways to develop a mindset for success. There's also going to be what do you call it? A checklist on things that you need to be doing. So it's kind of like a summarized version, and we're going to go over some of that as well today. So you'll be able to take a look at what I mean by a summarized version. The audio video setup is $29.98 as opposed to $19.98, but again, it's 50% discount, so it's $14.99 if you do the video audio course as opposed to the ebook. So that's pretty much how the setup is there. Oh, let me go back. Sorry about that. That's personal branding stuff. So let me go to a different share screen. Loving that color, Robert. I don't choose that stuff. The people that put the content together, they choose all of the colors and the book covers and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to take credit for that. All right, so let's take a look at. So what this is here is, you'll see it says page 1 through 30 on here. And what this is this is something which is summarized. So what I've got the content makers doing is summarizing like the material in a book, to where people that just want kind of a more concise version to just kind of breeze through some things on mindset. Because sometimes, I know me personally, how I work, I can't take in a lot of information at one time because I end up not doing anything. So when I'm looking at videos to train myself, or I'm taking a course in something, I take a little bit of the information and then I go and apply it. And then I go back and I take some more of the information and then I go apply again. And I constantly do that, because if I take in 3 chapters of information, I'll be so overwhelmed that I won't do anything with the information. That's just the way my brain works. Now, everybody doesn't work like that, but that's the way my brain works. So what I try to do with this information is to put it in a way where, for those that are saying I want it to be a little bit more concise, they can look at, you know, the 5 ways to develop the mindset for success. And this comes along, you know, whether you get the audio video or the ebook, you're going to get this with it. This is part of the downloads. And it's 5 ways to develop your mindset for success. And as a matter of fact, you don't even have to buy either course to get this. So when you go to click on one of those links to get either one, in the upper right hand corner it says preview. And when you click the preview is this entire 30-page checklist. So I made the checklist something that is free. So if you just want the checklist for free, you can go and click on the checklist. It's 30 pages, and you can take a look at that. And that's some things that we're going to be going over here. You can actually do that at that point. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. So definitely something that you want to look at doing. If that makes sense. So let's look at a couple of different things. Procrastination and fear. So it says it's normal to procrastinate a little, but often we put off doing difficult or unpleasant tasks that we have to do and end up sabotaging ourselves. Oh, let me move this thing here a little bit. And the number one thing to fix, if you want to be successful, your mindset will suffer when you procrastinate, because you are not thinking about productive. You are not thinking about being productive or about moving towards your goals. In fact, you are doing the opposite by avoiding that. So when it comes to mindset, this is one of the 5 things in your mindset that will prevent you from moving forward. So a lot of us, we don't understand how important it, like procrastination. I believe, I can't think of which speaker it is. One of the big name speakers, Tony Robbins or Brian Tracy, or one of them has a program. Them or somebody else. I'm not sure which one of the speakers it is, but they have a program where they talk about, you guys may be familiar with the big rocks and the small rocks. And they talk about putting the big rocks in first and then dropping the small rocks in around it. And this is how you should be creating your list and things when you're moving forward and doing things. So a lot of times when I'm creating my calendar, I put my big stuff on there first. One, because when you get up in the morning, you got the most energy. Secondly, it's hanging in the back of your head when you're working on things and you're doing all these little easy things first, because you're like, well, I'm gonna do this because it's easy. I'm gonna do that because it's easy. And then now you're starting to say, man, you keep having in the back of your mind, I got this big whale of a task that I have to take care of. And that whale of a task keeps weighing on you because you know you haven't done it yet, right? And you're procrastinating and you're looking for things to do. And you know what you do. You'll eat, you'll drink coffee, you'll run errands, you'll make phone calls, you'll do all kinds of things to prevent yourself from actually doing that big task, and you keep on not getting it done. You say you're gonna get it done on Monday, and here it is Thursday, and you still haven't gotten it done, and you're gonna probably procrastinate through Friday and then say, well, it's the weekend, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it next Monday. So you have to realize that when it comes to procrastination, that is one of the things that will hold you back, big time. So Brian Tracy has a book called Eat That Frog. And I would tell you that the book Eat That Frog is a really good book to read when it comes to procrastination, because it talks about eating that frog, right? It talks about not procrastinating and moving forward on the things that you need to move forward on so that your business can succeed. Sometimes you'll have an issue where you'll have just be able to tweak something small. Like, so procrastination may be a big thing, but it's a small tweak. Because if the difference between you being successful and unsuccessful is just you deciding that, hey, I need to stop procrastinating, and you know that you're procrastinating, then start doing exercises. So read the book by Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog, because that will help you develop exercises that will get you past that procrastination, especially if you're in the spot where you're team building. Because if you're team building, you need to always tackle these things yourself so that you can help your team, because you've got people on your team that are procrastinating, which is affecting your numbers. And if you give that book to them, that'll help them. Maybe you're on the B2B side and you're saying, hey, I'm procrastinating. I got this big account that I want to go after, but I keep on procrastinating. I'm not going after them because I'm scared they're going to say no. And in the back of your mind, you're thinking, as long as I don't approach that account, then they can't tell me no. And you keep thinking that you have an opportunity there that you may not even have, because they're not going to say yes, or that you may have, and it could really be helping your numbers, but you're scared to go talk to them and you're procrastinating. So procrastination is key, and it's really one of the 5 things that is a hindering your mindset that you want to look at taking advantage of. So let's look at the next one, fear, right? Fear of failure and fear of success can both stop you from achieving high-level success. Success means change, setting new goals, and a defined line between before and after. The fear is what prevents your mind from being in the right mindset for success. Sometimes we are even guilty of sabotaging ourselves through procrastination and other means so that we prove our fears right by not being successful, right? A fear mindset is one where everything is seen as too risky or too dangerous, which means you never move forward. Conquering the fear mindset is the hardest thing for many people who are not naturally optimistic, right? So let's look at something. We always say fear, well, not always, but some people use the acronym false evidence appearing real. That's what fear means. And sometimes we think that people are fearless, right? And really, they're not. You got people that you think that, oh, this person is not scared of anybody, or this person is not scared of anything, or they'll do whatever in your mind makes you think that person is fearless. The person is not fearless. The person is pushing the fear to the side and dealing with the issue, with the challenge. And we all have the ability to do that. So when you see somebody do something that you feel like they should be scared to do, whether it be walk into a big account, whether it be a person that, I know I grew up watching Mike Tyson fight, when I grew up, I was young watching Mike Tyson, knock all those guys out. He was like, I don't know, in his early 20s, knocking guys out. And I used to think when I was back young like that, like, what's wrong with these guys? Like, they paying these guys enough money to walk in there and fight this guy and he's knocking people out in 30 seconds. You feel like those guys that were going in and fight Mike Tyson were like fearless. And it's not that they were fearless. It was just that they put their fear to the side because they love boxing. They love to fight. They love that sport. And although they may have butterflies in their stomach or have in the back of their mind that they could possibly get knocked out, they love the idea of the sport so much that they pushed it to the side because they were passionate about what they did. And it's just like, stage fright, anything else. You can get on that stage. You just got to go out there and do it. So when it comes to a mindset of success, and we're talking about fear, because I used to train this in the marketplace, and I used to be a regional manager, I used to talk to people about being scared of success. Some people are fear of failure. Some people fear success. So what they'll do is, right, let's take something like a position that you have to qualify, what we call a qualifying position, performance club, executive director. There are people that will literally, right, and this might be somebody on the line, that will literally not qualify for executive director because they're worried about not qualifying again the next month and whether they're going to be embarrassed or not. Or I'm not going to run for executive director until I know I can hold on to it. I used to hear people say that on my team in the marketplace that I ran. I would hear people say, well, yeah, I'm getting close to executive director, but I don't really want to hit it until I know I can hold on to it. And I say, well, how do you know you're going to hold on to it if you don't ever hit it? Right? That's like you saying, I ain't going to get married till I know that, I know how to be the kind of husband or the kind of wife that's never going to go through a divorce. Well, how do you figure that out before you get married? You can't figure that out because you don't know what challenges are to come once you get married if you don't actually get married. Now, you can ask people advice. You can talk to your parents that may have been married for 25 years, but their problems won't necessarily be your problems. So you can get advice on certain things, but certain things you just have to live through. So some people really won't accomplish things because they're scared that they have to do it again and they don't know how to, right? You have people who will be, right, somebody that you may know that works where you work, that has the skill set to be advanced in that company, but they're not doing the work to get the promotion because they think that if they get promoted, then they now have to tell their friends what to do. And they're uncomfortable bossing their friends around because they think that they're going to get talked about at the water cooler about being too good, right? So like as an African-American male, right? We have in our neighborhoods a term called selling out, right? So if anybody on the line is and selling out is is talked about in every race, but particularly if you're an African-American male or female, you will hear somebody say, oh, that guy moved out the neighborhood, so he sold out. Or she moved out the neighborhood, so she sold out. Because the idea is, no matter how well you do, you got to still stay here and struggle with us, or you're leaving us, right? You're selling out. So you will have people who will be doing very good in life, right? Their parents didn't go to college, their grandparents didn't go to college, but they managed to get into college and they got good grades and they got a good job, and that they may be making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year. And before that, their generation may have made no more than $40,000 a year, right? They have a nice car. This man or woman gets married. Their significant others making the same kind of money, and now they're up in the six figures, $120,000, $130,000. A year coming into their household, and they're living in the middle of the ghetto, driving nice cars, living in a broken down house, and worrying about their grandkids getting shot because of the neighborhood they live in, because they didn't want to sell out. Because they were scared what people thought about them if they left that neighborhood, because it's not okay to do better and leave to some people. Right? So it's a mindset. That's a mindset, guys. oh, I don't want to sell out, so I'm gonna stay here and endanger my life and my family's life in a neighborhood that could possibly be dangerous because I don't want people to think that I sold out. That's a mindset. I don't want to take that advancement and tell all of these men or women that I've been hanging around and going to lunch with, and we've been talking about the upper echelon in this company. We've been talking about them for the last 5 years, 10 years, joking about them being snobby. And now I'm getting a promotion because I've been going to college part-time while I was working this job. And now I'm able to get a promotion, and I'm scared to take the promotion because now I'm going to be the upper echelon snobby person that's going to be getting talked about by the water cooler. So I don't take the promotion to do better in life because that's the mindset. I don't want to advance to executive director because I'm afraid that I may not make executive director next month, and now I'm gonna be a senior director. And as a senior director, people are gonna say, "Oh, Mr. Hicks, what happened? I thought you were an executive director," right? Are they gonna say, "Hey, Maureen, what happened? I thought you hit ED too much. I thought you were a bronze. What happened? Did you lose an executive director?" So now you're so fearful on what's gonna happen to you if you fall out of Performance Club or if you fall out of executive director status that you decide that I'm just not gonna qualify at all. It's a bad mindset. I am in the personal training field, and I am looking to get certified to do more things, not just be a personal trainer, but to be a nutritionist and do other things. But the other personal trainers I'm working around, none of them have no drive to do those things. But that's your crew. That's the people that you hang out with. Those are the guys that you hang out with, that you eat lunch with. Y'all sit and y'all talk when y'all don't have clients. And now again, procrastination and fear of being outside of that circle put you in a mindset where you say, "Hey, look, you know what? I'm not gonna get them other. I'm good just doing this like this. I'm just gonna stay hanging with these guys." And we know the saying, right? The 5 people you hang around, right? The average of the 5 people you hang around is what your income is. So if all you hang around is people who make $50,000 a year, that's probably what you make too, give or take a few $1,000s. A lot of those sayings are true because people know that the people who create those sayings know that that's attached to a mindset. That's why we say, TD Jakes will say, "Let me see your phone and I can tell you what's in your bank account." Not because I'm going to go on your phone and pull your bank account, but because based on who you talk to, based on what you're looking at online, based on how you're using your phone, I know what kind of person you are, and I basically know where your drive is at and where your mindset is at. So I'll know pretty much whether or not you're a successful, wealthy person or a mediocre person that's just kind of good where you at, right? Because all of those things are based on mindset. So mindset goes way deeper than just, okay, this is just how I think about things, right? So being unrealistic, this is the third mindset that you can use to develop a better way of thinking so that you can be successful. So being unrealistic. Part of dreaming about being successful is that it hasn't happened yet. But when we imagine things, it can be both good or bad. Those dreams can drive us to achieve further, or they can always just be out of reach. So they could be just out of reach. So we eventually give up because we never achieve them. Setting the right goals and being able to motivate yourself is important in being successful, because if you set unrealistic goals, you always feel like a failure. There's a very good analogy about teaching fish to climb trees, which illustrates this. If you think you are always a failure, then maybe it's because you're setting the wrong goals. So that's why when we talked about months and months ago during one of the training sessions on a Wednesday, SMART goals. SMART goals. Your goals have to be achievable. We know what big, hairy, audacious goals are. Like, we understand that. Like, I understand you saying, I've got a big, hairy, audacious goal of picking up 20 clients over the next 90 days. But again, guys, it's mindset. So you've got to know to tell yourself, that's a big, hairy, audacious goal. And I'm not going to be disappointed if I don't make that goal, but I know that I'll stretch myself if I push for that. You've got to know that you can do big, hairy, audacious goals and push really hard to get to a specific area of success, and know that you're not going to meet that goal. So I remember when we were having a conversation, me and a few people, for those that on here that are on Legal Shield, when Jeff Bell talked about 2020 vision. And I heard people talking about, well, I don't know if we're going to get that 2020 vision. It seems like it's so far-fetched, man. That's a lot of work. And I would say Jeff Bell didn't have intentions on getting to that goal in 2020. That was a big, hairy, audacious goal. What was that goal set for? To push everybody as hard as they could to get as much done as you can, to get as much progress as possible. But you've got to know when you set that goal that, you know what, I'm probably not going to do that, but I will do better. So when I was running for a ring, I always got 3 ring goals. So the people that I coach, they already know that when we set your ring goal up, we setting your ring goal up with 3 ring goals. You've got your ring goal that you actually think is the realistic day that you think you're going to get your ring. Then we set a goal that's a backup, a safety net. Okay, if you miss the ring on this day, when will you think you'll be able to make up the money to get the ring? Is there a bonus coming in that you know of? Do you know that you got an excessive amount of business that you're going to be able to write during this time because you do benefits and you can clean it up then? Like, I need another ring date. I need a ring date as a safety net just in case you miss that date. We already have another date that we're looking at. And then I want a big, hairy, audacious goal date where you're saying, hey, look, my ring date is 7 months from now. But I got a big, hairy, right? I got a BHAG goal of getting my ring in 90 days. What does that do? When you go to crush that 90-day goal, what's going to end up happening is when you're trying to do that, you're going to push yourself so hard running for that 90 days that you're going to increase higher numbers, which is probably will make you qualify on the day that you said you were going to qualify on in the first place. But you got to know that 90-day goal is a BHAG so that you're not disappointed when you don't get it, if that makes sense. So I want to clarify that so people don't think, okay, so I shouldn't really push myself. No, be realistic, have a realistic goal, an unrealistic goal, and then a safety net goal. But just remember that unrealistic goal is there to push you, but not to be disappointed if you don't make it. You guys follow that? So if you guys understand that, just put yes or yes in the box so I know that you guys kind of follow that. So let's look at number 4. So number 4 is being unsure of your path. So part of success is knowing knowing where you're going. You might have a vision of where you want to be, but no real understanding of how to get there. Without having an idea of your route, you may freeze up, instead choosing to stay in a safe and known place rather than risk the change that may come with the success or the shame of taking yourself down a failed pathway. If you are not sure about the next step, if you are not sure about the next step, are you sure you even are you sure you have even taken one? Many people struggle to even start their journey or get bogged down without realizing how close to the finish they are. Imagine you were chipping away at a wall. And you guys have probably seen this diagram before, right? Played out either on Facebook or Instagram or somewhere else, right? Where there's a guy chipping at, my phone is doing something on his own over here. This phone's too smart, right? So there's an image of a guy chipping away at a wall, right? You've been chipping forever and don't feel like you've even made it, you'll ever make it through, so you quit. What you didn't know was that 5 more chips, you would have made it to where you were going. You don't understand what's right on the other side of that wall. So you stop and you put that chipper down. You say, man, I'm tired. I feel like I'm not getting any progress. And you start walking away. And really your goal, or, in that illustration, is actually gold on the other side of the wall in the illustration. And the guy he's chipping away and he's chipping away and he's chipping away. And it's like this thin piece of wall between him and the gold that 5 more chips would get to it. And he stops and walks off. And we do that with our prospects. We do that with our family. Some of us have gotten a divorce instead of going to counseling. When the issue that you were having, you guys could have went and saw a counselor and been in counseling for 6 months and saved the marriage that you've been in for 15 years. You're going to start all over with a brand new person and go through all of this all over again, instead of you saying, let me do 6 months of counseling to fix a 15-year marriage. I'm just so fed up, I'm just going to walk away, right? Or you quit your job before you get your promotion. I'm tired of this, right? I'm being looked over because I'm a woman. I'm being looked over because I'm black. I'm being looked over because I'm Spanish. I'm being looked over because I'm whatever. I'm Muslim, or I'm Christian, or I'm whatever. Whatever your thing is, right? Wherever you victimize yourself sometimes. I'm being looked over for that reason. And then you walk away from the deal. And as soon as you walked away from the deal right before you was going to get that promotion. That's why being sure of your path is so important. That's why when I work with people, I tell them, I say, hey guys, look, do me a favor. You gotta always have an exit strategy. What's your exit strategy? And I hear this all the time. People start a business and I ask them what their exit strategy is, and they say, oh no, Mr. Dummer, I'm gonna do this forever. Okay. I need you to tell me what your exit strategy is. No, I'm passionate about this. I worked for 30 years and I saved money and I wanted to fund this business myself, and I'm gonna die doing this. Mr. Hicks, Mr. Frazier, Miss Smith, Miss Cream, I'm gonna need to know your exit strategy. Because you never know what's gonna change. And if something happens and you have to stop doing business, that's the wrong time to be looking for an exit strategy. That's why I tell my clients, download the app, put the app on your phone. I'm gonna do it later on. I say, no, you need to do that now. Because what's gonna happen is when something happens, you're gonna try to download the app while you're frustrated and aggravated, and that's not the right time to do that. You want the law firm's number. You want to know how to download the app. I don't know what my membership number is. This aggravating, this don't work. This membership don't work. You know why? Because you didn't download the app, right? That's what a prenuptial agreement is for. A prenuptial agreement is set up so that while we're on good terms, we agree on how things should go out. That way, if things start going bad, we can say, no, let's go back to when we were civilized. This is what we thought was fair, so this is still fair. Because when the heat of the moment comes, now you're thinking, right, in a way that's not really rational, right? So you're irrationally thinking and you're gonna make a bad decision. I'm dealing with a legal situation. I never downloaded the app. I didn't look at my email with my membership number. I don't know any of my information. I'm trying to call a law firm. I don't know what I'm doing. I get ticked off. I call and cancel the membership because it don't work. 3 weeks later, something else happened, and now I got to go pay an attorney full price, or get Legal Shield back and get a 25% discount. You made a bad decision because you never had an exit strategy. What is the exit strategy? One day I'm going to have to use this membership. That's the exit strategy. I bought this membership, and one day I'm going to have to use it. So let me download the app now, so when I have to use it, I can click a button, and it doesn't matter what my membership number is, because I can click the button. The exit strategy is, do you have your will done? So that when you go out of here unexpectedly, your family is not scrambling. The exit strategy is, what do you want to do with this business if your kids don't want it? Your exit strategy is, I'm a personal trainer. I work for LA Fitness, and LA Fitness put me out of business basically because when coronavirus hit, they weren't open and I don't have work. What's your exit strategy? Yesterday, I was in Walmart and I walked in there limping, and the guy says at the door, he says, hey man, what's wrong with your leg? I said, that's a long story. And I told you so many times, I don't even want to tell it again. He said, what's the short story? I said, a dog chased me, and getting away from the dog, I tore my patellar tendon and dislocated my knee. I think I took the lesser of the two options. He started laughing. So he started having a full conversation with me about how I can repair my knee. And I said, well, I got surgery coming up now. This is what I'm doing. He said, I would hold off on surgery. There's some different things you can do that would help your knee get better without you getting cut. He said, I'm not a doctor, but I'm telling you, it's some other things you can do. And I said, well, my surgery's already set and blah, 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 blah. And I had this whole conversation with the guy. Long story short, the guy was a physical therapist and a personal trainer and a nutritionist. You know where he was at? Working the door at Walmart, checking receipts. Why was he there doing that? Because the gym he worked at shut down. And they shut down for so long that he had to go get another job. So now the gym's open back up. Well, he's working at Walmart now. What's your exit strategy? Right? I see you, Barbara. He didn't have a plan B. He got certified to do all this stuff and just said to himself, now what in the world will make a LA Fitness close? I'm good. I can do this for the rest of my life. That was actually a reasonable thought. I mean, he wasn't bad for thinking like that. Because when the last time did the gym shut down? 100 years ago? When the Spanish flu came? And I don't even know if they had gyms 100 years ago, to be honest with you. I don't know if they had fitness centers 100 years ago. But when the last time did a fitness center close outside of the fact that one may have went out of business because they went bankrupt? It's not something that happens. So if you're in that field, you're thinking you always have a job. So what is your plan B? So let's look back at that, being unsure of your path, right? Part of your success is knowing where you're going. You might have a vision of where you want to be, but no real understanding on how to get there. Without having an idea of your route, you may freeze up instead, choosing to stay in a safe place, a known place, rather than risk the change that may come with the success or the shame of taking yourself down a failed path. Fear of success is all inside of that paragraph. I'm scared to move forward into this space that's unknown, because if I fail there, what am I going to do? You should have a plan to fail, like you have a plan to succeed. What am I going to do if this goes wrong? That's why when I sit down with people, I say, what is your why and what is your why not? What is your why and what is your why not? Why do I want to know what your why not is? Because I want to know what you're going to do when things aren't going right. Because things are not, it's going to be a point in time when things are going to not go right. So part of this series that I'm training on, I'm going to be talking about how to deal with failure. How to deal with failure, how to deal with disappointment, how to deal with things not going your way, whether it be in your marriage, whether it be with one of your kids not doing what you wanted them to do, right? I've got a daughter that got a mental illness. I mean, my oldest child has a mental illness. She's got so many talents. She writes. She went to school to be, journalism. My daughter's very smart, very articulate, very athletic, but she has a mental illness. So she has not been able to take advantage of any of those attributes. You think that was disappointing for me? That was disappointing for me. You know how many times I've cried because my daughter can't reach her potential because she has a mental illness? You see what I mean? So understand that was in my cards, but I didn't know that was in my deck of cards. My daughter wasn't diagnosed with a mental illness until she was 17 years old. She was a junior in high school. So for 17 years, I had all of these dreams about what my daughter was going to be. And when she got 17, got diagnosed, it's like, okay, so she basically, now my daughter she's in a position where she has funding, and I mean, she does fine. I mean, she lives on her own. She's in programs and she goes to classes and all that kind of stuff. And her daughter is in Florida with me and her mom. We take care of the grandbaby. That's why we do that, so that she can actually have a decent life, because it's too stressful raising a child with a mental illness, right? And I'm not trying to turn this into a story about me. I'm giving you guys this example because I live the stuff I'm talking about. It's disappointing. So when we asked our daughter not to get pregnant because she had a mental illness and she got pregnant at 23 years old, we already had a plan B in place. When she texted my ex and said, I'm pregnant, my ex texted me and said, hey, Ashley said she's pregnant. I said, okay, how we gonna handle this? She said, just like what we talked about, right? So I had to go up to Buffalo, New York when it was time for her to have a baby and stay up there for a month and take care of stuff. And then when I finished doing that and came down, my ex went up there and started doing court paperwork to get, to get our granddaughter. And now our granddaughter is down here in Florida with us, and my daughter is in New York, and she can manage herself, and she can see her daughter when she needs to see her daughter. But guess what? We had a plan B. We had an exit strategy because we knew telling her not to get pregnant wasn't a solid plan, right? So you got to always opt to know that, hey, you got to have a plan, right? But you got to know that if that plan doesn't work, you got to have something else in place, right? Yes or yes? You guys follow that? Let's go. We're gonna go to the last one here. Hold on, let me move this thing out my path here. Hold on, guys. Oops, sorry. Going too fast. So I got so much stuff on my screen that y'all can't see that I'm trying to get to where I'm trying to get to, and I'm halfway seeing stuff. Okay, so be willing to change. So there's nothing more threatening to a success mindset than not being able to change. If you cannot change, you cannot be anything more than what you already are, and therefore cannot be successful. So to be successful, you have to be able to embrace change, but you also have to be able to accept things as they come. On your journey, there will be failures, there will be successes, there will be change, and there will be surprises or things you didn't plan for. To have a success mindset, you need to cultivate your ability to adapt to change and to be more accepting, which will help stop you from being afraid of success, right? The fear of success. And there's a couple of ways to do that. Embrace opportunities, accept everything, even failure, conquer fear. And step 3 here, conquer fear, guys. Conquer Fear is actually the name of a book that I was going to recommend, and I've recommended it before. You guys have heard me recommend Conquer Fear before, by Lisa Jimenez. And Conquer Fear is a book about dealing with self-sabotage. Self-sabotage. Because a lot of times we don't understand that we're sabotaging ourselves with the things that we do. So self-sabotage is a real thing. And Conquer Fear by Lisa Jimenez, and that's Lisa, Lisa, and then Jimenez is Jim, I believe it's either Enez or Inez. But if you pull up Lisa Jimenez, Conquer Fear, you'll see the book. And that's a good read. And of course, in the content for the video that I release for this training, that link is gonna be there for the book through Amazon or whatever. But it's a good book to pick up, guys. And it's a good book to pick up because I learned a lot about myself. That was how I got past my my fear. I mean, my issue with, I used to go to appointments and I would be late. I would be chronically late to my physical appointments. And that's how I stopped being chronically late to my appointments by through that book, because I didn't realize that it was a mental thing for me. It was a mental thing. And I learned that in that book that it was a mental thing, and that's how I was able to get past it through that self-sabotage book, the self-sabotage learning book called Conquer Fear. So I would tell you to read that book. It's a good read. You'll enjoy it, and you can always go back to it because it's got the kind of material in it that you can constantly go back to. It's just like reading the book by Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog. That's a book that you can keep going back to as you say, okay, I'm still procrastinating on this thing. I'm still procrastinating on that thing. It gives you the ideas that you need so that you can kind of move past that, if that makes sense. So I would definitely say pick up that book as well. and it is 10 o'clock, so I'm not gonna keep going here. Yes. So this again, more information here. The 5 ways to develop a mindset for success. But I wanted to start in there to summarize some things here in the beginning. But we were just on page 8, guys. Right? We just talked about all the things we talked about. Just up to page 8. This is 30 pages long. And remember, you can have this without buying anything. You can go to one of the links I gave you guys and click on it to open up like you're going to buy one of the books, either the audio or the video. And up in the upper right-hand side, it's going to say preview. When you click preview, it'll allow you to download this 30-page guide here. And you can also go to the YouTube video, and it's there as well. Yep, absolutely. So give me 1 second. Do something else here. Oh no, before I do that, hold on. I was about to pull the other stuff back up, but let me not do that yet. Let me open up for questions first before I do that. 10:01. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself. If you can, put the video on when you ask a question. That'd be great. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? All right, fantastic. Now let me go do what I was going to do this a minute ago. All right, so I just like to go through this stuff. I always like to go through this stuff again. Make sure you guys get plugged in. Make sure you're plugged in on all these different things. Remember, all of it, like the links, so like anything I'm doing, I post on these. So you can always, if you ever don't get the email, if you're ever looking for the training information, go there, and my pages, they're going to always be there. They're going to always be on Twitter. They're going to be on LinkedIn. They're going to be on Instagram. They're going to be on YouTube. If you're looking for a link for something and it's a YouTube video, just click the description of the video, and the links are going to be in the description of the video for all of the different information that has anything to do with the training that we're talking about. Remember to visit the website for your free consultation and all other things concerning training by Dunbar. This is the book that we're going through right now, The Growth Mindset, Developing the Mindset for Success. And remember, it's the ebook, not a physical book. And then there's also a video version as well. I'm sorry. There's also a video version as well. In the chat, you will see the same information. The link for the book, and then the discount code. If you're on YouTube right now listening, it's there as well on YouTube. So you've got your discount code, you've got your link for the book. Remember, if you hit this link, it'll open up a dialog box. And on the upper right-hand side, you can click preview and download that 5 ways to develop a successful mindset. You can do that there as well. And then you got your audio video course for those that want to Drive Time University. No ebook involved there, just audios and videos. But you still got your mind map and everything else. There's your link for that. There's your discount code. It's in the chat box on Zoom, and it's also in the content area on the comment area on YouTube as well. And I know we got some people on YouTube because they couldn't get in here for some reason. So all there, guys. All there. So next week we're going to be going over obviously some more. We're going to actually go into the book. Like, we're not going to be on the 30-page checklist. We're going to go into the actual ebook and start touching on some things like what mindset actually is. We're going to be talking about how to form a mindset. We're going to be talking about the difference between a growth mindset and a mindset for a fixed mindset. Because some people are just, they're fixed where they're at, and that's kind of where they're going to stay. And then some people have a mindset for growth. So we're going to talk about those different things as well throughout this program. So, any questions before we close out or anything? Hit your mute button.
This is Jim. This is Jim.
Hey, Jim Hicks, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Want a suggestion from you. Do you think it'd be an advantage to bring the book to class with us next week and maybe go over, underline, or whatever your dialogue in that particular book?
Yeah, you can,
helpful?
because it's an ebook. So you could, if you want to, you could print off. You know what I mean? You can print off pages, and then you can highlight and take notes on certain things that I'm talking about, because I'm going to mention things in the book, but I'm going to have my own dialogue, obviously, outside of what the content is in there. So yeah, that's a good way if you study better that way. And that is exactly why I'm doing it this way now. You know what I mean? So I got people that's like, because I'm going to always get questions on everything I'm doing. So, you got people that'll call me and be like, hey, so are you just like selling these books or whatever? And I'm like, no, when you're training people, you're teaching people want content.
Right.
So that they can go over. Well, I can't give you content for free because it costs me to create it. So I have to charge for it. You know what I mean? So now they understand it. No beef there. But that's why I do it. So it's not about selling an ebook to make a bunch of money. It's about getting people trained properly. But I can't just create ebooks and create audio courses out of my pocket to give to people for free so that they can learn, because that wouldn't be conducive as a business owner. So I sell it, and then that's why I get those crazy discounted prices, because people that are already following me and working with me, stuff like that, I'm not really trying to make money off of the deal, but I do need my money back. People that buy it at full price, I do make money on it when they pay full price. But those are people that normally don't follow me, so they're just going to my different platforms and buying stuff. So it's different in that sense, if that makes sense. And not that I needed to explain that to anybody, but I just, you know what I mean? I just like for people, I'm just a transparent person anyway. So that's pretty much how it works. But so yeah, if it was me, I'm a visual person, Jim. So for me, when I'm taking a class, I have to have material that I can highlight and that I can take notes on. So I'm always gonna have a yellow pad or something like that where I can write and take notes on and circle things and put boxes and checks and all that kind of stuff, because I need to be able to go back and visualize the information that I received, if that makes sense.
It makes great sense to me. And the reason I asked the question is, are you going to kind of go in a sequential manner as you go through the material?
Yes, in a book I am. I'm gonna be, and I'm not gonna, like next week, I'm probably not gonna go over it like I just did, where I scrolled through the book.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have like slides.
Okay.
That's gonna have information that's the same information that you would see in a book. So chapter 1, what is mindset? I'm gonna have